Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One. Let's talk trading. It's Monday, January the 15th, the year 2018, MLK Day. Price action. Price action, I've talked about this before, but probably should just discuss it at least once a week. How do I define price action? Well, if you look at the previous bar or candle, price is going to do one of two things. And in fact, you don't even have to look at the previous bar or candle. You can pick a price above the current price and pick a price below the current price. And it's simply this. Price is either going to exceed the upper limit or exceed the lower limit, do both, or do neither. Those are the options. That's price action. In other words, it's either going to go up past a certain point, go down past a certain point, or maybe hit a certain point and reverse. That's simple price action. And anything else complicates it, and you can't break it down any further. That's the crux of the issue. That's what we do when we trade. We try to determine, is price going to keep going past a certain point, or is it going to turn around at a certain point? As always, fellow traders, money and risk management, very important. I'll put the screen up every day just as a reminder. Let's look at price action. Well, you can see here, the euro still hasn't filled that gap, and it's going up. Somebody said, hey, why don't you switch over to dollar yen? Maybe we can look at them both and just go back and forth like this. You can see here that the dollar yen gapped up slightly, came down, and has continued to go down and broke through last week's low. So the price action is this way. It went down. It's simple stuff. And you can see it's 13 pips off of the daily. And actually, you know what? Maybe I should change that to weekly on this chart. I believe I can do that right here. My period. This is an old indicator. I haven't updated it. So weeks is 10,080 minutes. So now you can see it's 13 pips off the weekly low. But I knew that because since this is the same, this is the beginning, first candle of the week. This is the week of the daily. That's early. Fumble mouth. Okay. We're still on the first day of the week, so the daily and weekly low are going to be the same. That's simple. And as you can see, we've had more pairs fill that weekly gap. So you weekly gap traders are just raking it in. But we have dollar Canadian and the euro dollar yet to fill. They might fill by the end of the week. You never know. That's why we trade, to find out. We test our theories, kind of like the scientific method. We make observations, form a hypothesis, we test it, and then we come up with some analysis and conclusion. Anyway, as you can see here, we've got the yen looks almost like the weekly, but it broke out of the previous session's low right here. And if we look at the euro, you can see the euro's going this way. And the buy zone, there was no short zone trigger. Here you had a trigger. Maybe you took a little heat, and maybe you here, maybe you entered there, and you can see your profit. And if we look over at the yen, well, probably if you entered, you got stopped out. And if you entered again long, you got stopped out. But here you made up for that very quickly. And right here, looking at price action, you should see there is the low of, and there's the high of that H1 candle. You see price broke out but reversed, come back. This is a scratch trade. Or here you just say, okay, I'm stopping out. And then same here, you can see, you see that right there. You're going to have, right there, touched it, came back down, gave you a chance, not much, but right there, you should be looking at that price action to say it's just not it's not moving. If you buy, it's not moving this way, so it must going to be moving this way. Just get out of the trade, scratch it. Why take a huge loss? If you can see price is not going your way, just get out of the trade. You don't have to stay in the trade. Some people might think you do. That's up to them. And now you can see here we definitely have rat zone, and you can see here we're using the H1 because somebody said I always get killed that way. Well, right here, once again, using that price action, here's the high of that candle. It made a new high, reversed. You can come right here. It turned from green candle to red. You could have jumped in. You could have taken your chances here, pick up a couple of pips, but there you go. It's simple. The simple analysis. This isn't anything tough. Once again, we're using a high, we're using the low there, and we're just watching what price does. I mean, we don't need any squigglies or anything else. See, there's the high. Price didn't, it tried, it didn't make it. It started reversing. It cut back through this high. It came out of this wick zone. I mean, there you go, traders. There's at least 3 different reasons telling you, let's take a short trade, or at least not being a long one. Once again, you should look for reasons not to do a trade. You could say, well, you know what, this is making higher lows and higher highs from this point, but you see, I try and look at the overall picture because, see, it's not making a higher high here. To me, that, yeah, from here, but that's only, you do this when it's down here reversing, but when it's up near the top, no, it's making, you know, is it making lower lows? Well, let's see, lower, lower, okay, made a higher low, but right here, what's more important? It's not making a higher high. That's my analysis, my observation. Okay, once again, pivot traders, your pivot's here. It's not, it's far away, so we've got an open pivot here, and we've got an open pivot here. That's 2 days of missed pivots. How many days in a row is it going to miss? I don't know. And more just simple screen price action, cutting at the every 10 pips. You can see here at the 2280 line, it was red. We're playing off a 3-ball, red at the line, and you're up over 10, almost 20 pips. Once again, this is not difficult. Simple price action. That's it. Nothing crazy. Okay, so now we got the top of the hour, brand new hour, and you can watch and see what happens here. Okay, you see we've got the yen going up. We've got the euro, looks like it wants to go up, but we'll see, does it break this or not? If it does, what do you think's going to happen? See, so we need to break. Where do we need to break? Need to break that point, could be a trigger. This point here could be an exit, could be a stack on. So obviously we opened below the previous middle, so that's one of my rule of thumbs. Go short if it opens below the previous middle. If it's below the previous middle, don't be long. It's once again, it's simple, but these are my simple things. These are from my observations. Feel free to make your own. And the wick zone, once again, bam, out of it. There really wasn't much of a wick zone on that euro daily candle. Okay, I don't have buttons on this screen, so I have to go back over here, and if we want to do that, and then we've got the wick zones. You can see price does not like to stay in the wick zone. I sound like a broken record on that, but it just doesn't. And knowing that can be profitable. Actually, knowing it's not profitable, acting, trading, using that knowledge can be profitable. You see, English is a very imprecise language, and if I use it imprecisely, I'm just going to confuse you. So sometimes I have to correct myself and be precise. Okay, and here we have the holo. Well, there you go. Bam. It's right there. And let's see, let's put on the euro. Where were we? Holo. Yes. And once again, you can see price cut through that highest open. Okay, there's the highest open for the day, and price dropped right through it. Okay, there's the highest open. Actually, technically, oh, this is M15, yeah. Highest open on the H1. And you can see here, we had a candle close above it, candle open above it, but it came down to that line. You can jump in, and there you go. Simple price action. Haven't done anything complicated. I mean, what's the most complicated formula? If you add the high to the low, divide it by 2 or multiply by 0.5, you get the midpoint. That's the extent of my complicated formulas. And here we go. We've got squigglies. Yes, we've got squigglies. The MA, moving average. You can look here at the dollar yen, just the moving averages. But, I mean, really, do I care? I mean, I can just look at this price action. What do we have here? Lower highs, lower lows. Which way is price going? That's a rhetorical question. Or if you want to, you can answer that question. Which way is price going based on that daily chart? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red days in a row. Can you say buzzard reversal? Oh, that's probably a new term for some of you. Some of you traders way back. I think it was 2008, 9, or 10, somewhere back there. previous decade. I was doing some analysis and came up with something I called the buzzard reversal, because I noticed after 3 bars in a row, price had a tendency to reverse. So you start looking for reversals. 1, 2, 3 reds in a row, reverse. 1, 2, 3 greens in a row, reverse. 1, 2, 3 reds in a row. Well, there was an attempt at reversal, and then there was what? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, an attempted reversal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, an attempted reversal. So sometimes playing those reversals, you can get the run, or you can just get, you know, a few pips. So just something to note. And once again, just looking at my tick charts, and since the charts kept, I was switching the charts and then using, you know, switch all the charts. You can see here that since the last switch, what has happened to price. Now, this is the midpoint. You see here, you got the ask above the midpoint, the bids coming above that midpoint, and there was opportunity to scalp. Once again, the bid came across that midpoint, opportunity to scalp. But I mean, we're only talking, you know, 1 or 2 pips there. But, you know, if you're moving 100 lots or more, 1 or 2 pips, you know, put some money in your hip national bank. Well, that's it, fellow traders. I hope maybe you learned something. If not, if I confused you in any way, shape, or form, feel free to post questions, and I will try to answer them in the next video. So, as always, fellow traders, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. The Rumpled One signing off to continue draining the banks.